The second day, October 5th, 1986. Hello, and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry, episode 32. I'm recording this one in a few days advance because I happen to be busy this weekend, and I won't have time to record on Sunday like I usually do. Still, of course, you're getting an episode because I am so very excited to see what happens on our second day. I was trying to hypothesize who might die this time around, considering George and Shannon will be our second day sacrifices. Possibly. I would say Rosa is one of them, but she still has that letter that Beatrice gave her, which means she still has a duty to perform. I have a feeling that since Ava and Hideyoshi aren't needed for the second Twilight sacrifice, that it might be them. But we can't really know for sure now, can we? I have the lights off in my room right now because I needed some mood lighting. So, what is that sound that always fills my ears? Is it the sound of the rain, the sound of a waterfall, or could it be radio static? If not, I want it to be the sound of blood flowing through my body. I want it to be the sound of the blood circulating throughout me, telling me that I am still alive. Is it morning? The light entering through a crack in the curtain was faint, but it at least told him that dawn had broken. Kenzo, still in the position he'd been when he woke up, still sitting in a chair and looking up at the ceiling, felt the blood slowly travel throughout his body. Judging by the clock, it was early morning, 6 o'clock on the dot. No matter how tired he was, no matter how deeply he slept, he always woke up at exactly this time, as though he had measured it with an hourglass. He didn't think of this as something to boast about, but he told himself that, as long as he could still manage this, his health couldn't be that bad. Morning has come, which means, it would appear I've avoided becoming one of the first sacrifices. I would like to note that we only have the epitaph right now, because we didn't get the declaration of the Demon's Roulette like we did episode 1. So, I just thought that was something interesting. The characters aren't aware of it this time around. Well, besides Shannon and Cannon. And our lovely Beatrice, of course. And Kenzo. But we all know he knows. Was I merely lucky when the roulette was spun? Or is this the fruit of my efforts? How irritating that I cannot tell the difference. But I mustn't be bothered by such trivialities. She doesn't like you, bro. You wouldn't have been spared. Just 'cause, I mean. Kenzo was struck by a faint desire to see beyond the study door. After all, he might find the traces of someone's vain struggle to break through the door. A sign that someone had tried to select him as one of the first 6 sacrifices. Humans are cheap creatures. Even though everything is ultimately decided by God, when humans are given good fortune, they arrogantly feel it was due to their own ability. That was why he wanted to check whether there was a wretched mark on the door. The very desire was human, and that was why Kenzo did not check. He often rejected desires that came to him because he was human. By doing that, he could be immersed in a feeling of sufficiency, as though he himself had become a being that surpassed humans. He recognized human desires for what they were, and guarded against them. Things that a human would want to do, he resisted. This eccentricity and rebellious nature had surely given him a rare genius, making it possible for him to succeed in his exploits as he revived the Ushirmiya family in a single generation. Well then, Beatrice, what were the 6 pieces you took? And what will your next move be? Entertain me. My defense is perfect. I will not shame myself like last time. Does Kinzo know about the loop? Is that what he's implying, or is there something else that he's done like this before? Oh. The servants woke early. They had to open the curtains, prepare breakfast, and complete various other tasks to welcome the guests to a new day. Goda. Oh no! Damn it! He's still alive! He's still with us! Stop! No! I told my friend the other day that if he survived past the first Twilight, I was gonna delete the game and never play it again. But I'm too invested. I can't delete the game. If he ends up surviving to the end, though, I might seriously consider quitting right now. I will delete my entire YouTube channel. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I actually really like my channel. Goda was the most enthusiastic. During the family conference, he had been told to concentrate his efforts especially on cooking. And he'd been specially exempted from several tasks that servants normally must do. Goda, who was a show-off, seemed to be feeling particularly superior because of that. He let Genji and the rest prepare the rest of the mansion, and worked on making breakfast in the kitchen. Genji split the work with Shannon and Cannon, and they carried out various tasks. Shannon headed to the dining hall and knocked. Is there blood in here this time? Last year, the family conference had continued into the early hours of the morning. It wouldn't have been odd if this year's conference had done the same. Considering the possibility that they were still having a discussion inside, she knocked. But there was no response, so she opened the door and said good morning. I don't like when it opens the door. Good morning. Is anyone there? The room was cold, and the conference seemed to have ended a long time before. Yeah, because they went to the church. Or steeple, whatever we want to call it. I don't quite remember the word. I know I have the word in my mind, but it's not coming to my brain. If that makes sense. There was a tea set on the table from which they'd probably been drinking, arranged in a way that would make it easy to clean up. Cleaning up the tea was a servant's job. The family members were extra generous and cleaned it up themselves. The servants would lose face. So it was a truly pleasant act of kindness for the family to do only this much. She approached the table to clean it. She noticed something like a memo that had been left near the utensils and cups. Since it was right next to the tea set, Shannon picked it up, naturally thinking it was a memo for the servant doing the cleaning. But it's not, is it? Written there was not a request, nor was it thanks for preparing the tea. It was just a single word. Uh-oh. Love. Shannon looked at it blankly and read it out loud. Chapel. Chapel. Chapel, that's the word I wanted. That's where they are. Unless... Hold on. Wait, hold on, let me wait for it. Okay. There's 7, okay. Now, if there had been 6, it would have been a different story. But there are 7 parents. A small sound kept repeating over and over. Normally, that sound would have been too trivial to be worth caring about. If only I could stop hearing it so soon. Could go back to sleep right away, she thought vaguely. Natsuhi? But no matter how much time passed, the sound did not end. It repeated over and over. Or Rosa, one of the two. Ugh, shut up. Who is it? Banging on the door this whole time. Rosa. Soon as she realized that, she woke up. Someone was knocking. Then she noticed that it wasn't just a knock, but a voice as well. Rosa-sama. Rosa-sama. Good morning. Wait, I'm coming now. It had been Genji's voice. Looking at the clock, it wasn't even 7 o'clock yet. It was clearly too early to wake the guests. Did something happen that was bad enough to cause this? She felt her sleepiness increasingly fade thanks to this premonition of misfortune. Though Genji was a servant, Rosa had known him since her childhood days, so even though she was slightly defenseless in her pajamas, she opened the door a crack and answered. Good morning. I apologize for waking you this early. Did something happen? Yes. Actually, at the chapel. Oh. I don't... Without Rosa, that does make 6. Genji whispered something into Rosa's ear. Did it make her want to dash towards the chapel? Question mark? For a second, it seemed Rosa couldn't understand what she'd been told. After having it repeated several times, she realized that, apparently, something strange had happened. Rosa closed her door for a second, changed her clothes quickly, and followed Genji towards the mansion. I'm scared. Please don't kill off Kiri again. Kiri got nerfed way too early last time. The chapel requires some explanation. It wasn't in the mansion, but in a grove behind it, a short distance away. It had been built at the same time as the mansion, so though its walls had been repaired many times, making it look new from the outside, it was a very old building. Rosa dashed through the rain along with Genji. Called it. Just like the previous night, the rain was falling in earnest. Eventually, the chapel came into sight from beyond a thin grove. Just looking at it from the outside, it seemed a place of dazzling beauty, where a pair of young lovers might want to get married. Wink, wink. However, Kinzo apparently viewed it as a very sacred place. So Rosa and her siblings had been given strict instructions not to approach it unnecessarily. Even though they were all grown up now, approaching the chapel for any reason would still make them feel guilty. And also afraid, as if their father might get angry and hit them in the face. The servants' silhouettes could be seen in front of the chapel's entrance. It's good to know our service staff are still with us. Goda, Shannon, and Cannon. Which meant that all of the servants on the morning shift had gathered. Okay, hold on. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of our 19 are confirmed alive. I assume Beatrice is probably with us, so that's 7 out of 19. That leaves us quite a frightening look. Please keep Kiri. Please let me have Kiri. Take anyone else, but not Kiri. Oh, we probably have to get rid of George too. Okay, George also has to go away, considering he's going to be paired up with Shannon. Potentially. I don't like this. This is making me as nervous as last time. Okay. A short while ago, Genji had spoken to Rosa, telling her what the situation was. However, without laying eyes on it directly, she definitely hadn't been able to understand. It's probably the same for all the servants gathered here as well. Without seeing it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have been able to understand what was going on. Okay, that's the second time they've put emphasis on seeing things themselves. It happened in last episode, too. It's really, driving in the, devil's proof stuff. Unless you've seen it, you can't really disprove it. Uh-oh. Oh my god, okay. There's dead people inside this chapel. Let me guess. Natsuhi, Kraus, Ava, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, Kiri. Locking it in right now. The door at the entrance to the chapel was something very large, drawn with a creepy, stringy paint that made one think of blood. Something like a creepy magic circle. What is this? When was it drawn here? The servants looked at each other. Godo was the first to open his mouth. Of course he was. My apologies. We don't usually enter this building, so we don't know when it was made. Then who was the first person to find it? It was me. When I went to the dining hall to clean up the tea set, I found a memo with chapel written on it. Shannon held out the memo with a shaking hand. Whose handwriting is it? It isn't Nissan's or Nissan's. So after that, you came here and found this, right? Yes. Rosa-sama, look at this. What now? What? Happy Halloween for Maria? What? Cannon pointed at a single line of English written below the creepy magic circle. Until it had been pointed out to her, she thought it was just another part of the magic circle. There, the following words were written in English. Happy Halloween for Maria. Beatrice did this for her. Oh god, oh my god, oh my god. Happy Halloween for Maria. This creepy magic circle was for Maria. Happy Halloween. Yesterday, only one person had said Happy Halloween to Maria. The key phrase matched. It was the Golden Witch, Beatrice. Oh my god. What about Maria? She should be sleeping with her cousins, right? Did you check? My apologies. We just now realized that Maria-sama's name was written here. We still have not checked. Quickly. What are you doing? I'll go check on Maria and come back. Tell Kraus Nissan and the rest too. After that, follow their instructions. After saying that much, Rosa finally noticed that something was odd. Was the door slightly ajar? Her own rank in this family conference was the lowest of the four siblings. Why had she been the only one called during an abnormal situation like this, when the other siblings hadn't been? Even if Maria's name had popped up. Could it be... Huh? What? Yes. We tried to contact Kraus-sama, but we couldn't find him. And Madam was not in her room. Judging by the condition of the sheets, she might not have returned to her bed at all last night. I can't remember if Rosa was with the rest of the adults during the chapel meeting at the end. Rosa felt something creepy crawling slowly up her back. Did you check inside the chapel? No, not yet. We tried, but... Actually, the lock to the chapel is special, so the master key will not work. Let me guess, only Beatrice can open the chapel. There is a single key that can open it, but that key is missing from the key box. That's a thing in our mystery. It's just gonna be like the servant key last time for the shed. She didn't want to get closer to the door with the creepy magic circle if she could. Rosa readied herself and approached, then tried pushing and pulling the knob. All she felt was the resistance of the sturdy lock. We searched to see if there was a window we could enter through, but I think we'd have to break one of the windows if we wanted to check inside. What do you think? There's no way I can give you approval to do something like that. This is Father's precious chapel. At that time, the events of the previous day swirled around in the back of Rosa's mind. That's right, when I met that witch in the rose garden, didn't she hand Maria an envelope? She handed you one too. Yeah, there's no mistake, she did hand it over. When Maria tried to open it, the witch told her not to do it yet, and then she surely said, "The time to open that will come soon." Rosa was sure. There could be no mistake. The envelope Maria had received was... Did she dash back to the guest house? Or the main house? After dashing back to the guest house, Rosa approached the cousin room while hiding her footsteps, softly opened the door and peered inside. From the inside, she could hear the healthy snores typical of young people. There were 4 children, and Maria was there. Okay, we gotta stop calling George a child. He is not. That is a grown-ass man. And Maria was there, sleeping soundly. After breathing a sigh of relief, she entered the room with quiet footsteps. She was after Maria's handbag, which was resting on the sofa. Maria always liked carrying her treasures around with her. She was probably emulating how her mother always carried her makeup with her. Of course, she was just imitating her mother, so everything on the inside was junk. And Maria's case was full of small, creepy occult items, notebooks describing things of that nature, and so on. Rosa had never been happy to see her daughter walking around with things like that, which weren't girlish at all. However, trying to force Maria to stop had resulted in a big fight, so she decided to let it be. Here. This is it. A Western envelope with the crest of the gold eagle. When she took it out of the bag, she realized there was a heavy, vaguely cylindrical object inside. Kenzo's ring. She could tell by its feel and its weight. There was no doubt. This was a key. Oh, shit, it's the key. I thought it was the ring. After turning around, because the... Oh, no, the ring wasn't actually in there. Did someone find the ring? I can't remember if someone found the ring in the last one or not. After turning around and checking that Maria was still sound asleep, Rosa tore open the envelope and the contents spilled out into her palm. Ooh. It was a key with an old and intricate design. Rosa gripped that key and dashed out. Battler seemed to have noticed the sound, but after grumbling and turning over in his sleep, he started snoring again. Genji-san, could this key be the key to the chapel? Where did you? Yes, this is the key to the chapel. Okay, so Beatrice is going to explain that with the magic and how she magicked the key into the envelope. That's how she got it there. But then again, nothing stopping her from A, trading out the envelope with one with the key inside, or B, opening the envelope, putting the key inside, and resealing it. So that's the humans and tricks explanation that I'm going to assume is the case. Rosa approached the creepy magic circle once again and put the key in the keyhole. There was a strong resistance. Let me guess, when she opens the door, is it going to cut to someone else's perspective? After it resisted for a short while, it stopped resisting with a clunk. Then, squeaking with a noise that hurt one's ears, it slowly began to open. "Is anyone there?" Her voice reverberated throughout the massive room. Of course, there was no answer. But there were bodies. The chapel had a high ceiling, and the air was cold. And even on this rainy, unsettling day, it felt sacred for some reason. The servants timidly followed after Rosa. "Rosa-sama, look at that." Kana noticed it immediately and pointed. Over there was the altar. In the place that would normally have a pastor preaching of God's love, there was a table that shouldn't have been there. At first, it looked like a dining table. There were actually gorgeous plates and utensils placed there, making it look like a child's birthday party or something. Upon closer inspection, the surrounding area had been decorated with pumpkins and black and orange ribbons. They were probably Halloween decorations. And there were people seated at the table. Dead, I presume? 3 people on each side, facing each other, seated in chairs. They could be recognized at a glance. Kraus and his wife, Ava and her husband, and Rudolph and his wife. Damn it. We lost Kiri, guys. Everyone pour one out for Kiri right now. God damn it. No! Stop! Okay, they can be recognized this time around. So, that says something. But if you wanted to be sure, you'd still have to go even closer and check. Were they poisoned this time around? Because they seemed almost like dolls. Rosa and the rest had opened the door, entered all at once with the sound of many footsteps, and called out, asking if anyone was there. And yet, there had been no reaction. Even if Rosa and the rest assumed they were being ignored, you'd still expect there to be some kind of reaction. And there hadn't even been that. So at first, it felt like someone had set down some dolls that greatly resembled those people. By now, it wasn't just Rosa, Shannon and Cannon, and even Goda. They were all fighting frantically with the creepy emotion that grasped their hearts. Ni-san? Ni-san? As she walked towards the altar, she called out again, but there was still no reaction. Yes. By now, Rosa was sure of it. She was sure these weren't dolls, but the people themselves. They grew close enough to see clearly what lay on the table. It still looked like an adorable banquet, reminiscent of a child's birthday party. Plates piled up with sweets, cute pitchers with drinks, all kinds of pumpkin-shaped ornaments. They were all decorated in a Halloween style. And while this probably wasn't the time to be thinking it, Maria would surely have been delighted to see all this. That was the state of the table they sat in front of, apparently asleep. It was an eerie scene, as though a small, fun-looking Halloween party had been stopped in time. They're all sleeping? When she approached even closer to them, she realized that there were snacks scattered all over the floor. Candies, cookies, soda, and chocolates, all with heavily fantasy-themed packaging. They were all scattered across a carpet covered with blackberry and cranberry jam. Rosa and the rest finally realized what the situation was. It was a Halloween party. A banquet for those not of this world. Kraus, Nazi, Ava, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Kiri were seated in chairs, apparently asleep, but all dead. How could you tell that they were dead and not simply sleeping? That was because they'd been vertically sliced open from their chests to their stomachs. Kraus-sama! How cruel. The 6 of them had sat down at a Halloween party before having their stomachs split open, killing them. Then the jam covering the floor must be what overflowed their stomachs once they'd stuffed themselves completely, right? No. The contents of their stomachs had been scattered all over the floor. And that wasn't all. Out of their stomachs, it was almost as though they'd poured out. As though snacks had overflowed from there. Candies and cookies, sodas and chocolate had poured out stained with blood and had scattered across the floor. What could have happened to cause this? It's almost as though their stomachs were stuffed full to bursting with sweets, and it all poured out when their stomachs split open. Rosa remembered a certain shocking meal. A turkey that had been served at her own birthday. When it had been cut open with a knife, out flowed one of her favorite foods. But since she hadn't been told what was inside, the deep red ketchup omelet rice poured out like bloody maggots. Pulsing, dripping, slimy, pulpy, squelching. The trauma of her youth was revived. Rosa felt a monster raging inside her stomach as the acid started to rise. Unable to hold back, she threw it all up on the floor. Her empty stomach had nothing but stomach acid. The scene in front of her was no fun Halloween party now. 3 couples were enshrined right there, their stomachs vertically wrenched open with Cuba? I don't know what the fuck that word is, bro. So many snacks had been stuffed in there, pulpy, squishy. Blood and guts and sweets were overflowing onto the floor. Blood-stained, sticky, sloppy, pulpy, sweet snacks that made your fingers stick together. Gummy, but stained with intro, sloppy, pulpy. What was that I stepped on just now that didn't feel like candy or a cookie or soda or chocolate? I'm scared. What did I step on? I can't even look at the bottom of my foot. What a gruesome Halloween party. From far away, it had looked truly beautiful, fantastical, and fun. But from up close, it was horrible, disgusting, and yet somehow still beautiful. Rosa's wild thoughts tried as best they could to escape her throat with a loud voice that was neither a scream nor a roar. Kraus-sama. This is horrible, just horrible. Call an ambulance. Call the police. That's right, the police. Police. If a word so tied to reality hadn't come out of Goda's mouth, Rosa and the rest would probably have found themselves unable to escape that nightmarish party even now. But it wasn't because they thought the police might be able to do something. If they didn't keep yelling about the police, it felt as though another seat might have be set up at this demon's party and given to them. Their own chests felt like they were expanding unpleasantly from the inside, rumbling, churning, and it was surely because candy was about to overflow from their stomachs. Rosa, once again tortured by a desire to vomit, threw her stomach acid up on the floor. And then she searched to see if there was any candy in it. Anyway, Rosa coughed violently again, forcefully spitting out the stomach acid that had been burning in her throat. She realized that by now, her whole body had been covered in a filthy sweat. Genji-san, Shannon-chan, please contact father and ask for instructions. Goda-san, go with Ken and call the police. Then have Dr. Nanjo come here. Why even bring Dr. Nanjo here? It's a bit too late for medical care. The servants accepted their orders and dashed outside. After watching them leave, Rosa once again stared at her siblings with whom she'd spent good times and bad and their partners. Though there could be nothing more tragic than this scene, for some reason, she was tempted to describe these fantastical deaths as beautiful. Holy shit. Oh my god. Hold on, are they confirmed deceased? Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see what they say. Ushirmia Kraus. His corpse was found in the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems his stomach was cut open and his intestines pulled out after his death. On top of that, sweets and candies were packed into his stomach. Welcome, Maria. Happy Halloween. Ushirmia Natsuhi. Her corpse was found in the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems her stomach was... Okay, it says the same thing. Didn't I tell you? Stomachs are packed full of candy. Why does the text formatting change? But it says the same things. Everyone has a stomach filled with sweet dreams. Why would there be anything filthy inside someone's stomach? This is why we want to be as sweet and innocent as candy. And so, I give you the land of dreams. Happy Halloween. They aren't here. Where'd they go? The servant room and the kitchen are both empty. What in the world happened? Mama! Where's Mama? My letter! The letter I got from Beto! Give it back! Give it back! Oh. Perplexing. Battlerkin, are you sure it was Aunt Rosa? Well, even I was half asleep, so I'm not too sure. But I get the feeling that in the early morning, Aunt Rosa came in and fished around in Maria's handbag. I figured there was probably a tube of toothpaste or something in there. Why would there be a tube of toothpaste in Maria's handbag? Looks like you were a little more than half asleep. Battler vaguely remembered Rosa entering the cousin room. Also, when Maria woke up before the rest of them, she'd started rampaging around, saying that someone had opened the envelope she'd been keeping safe. Putting two and two together, they figured that Rosa had probably come and opened the envelope. A letter from the Golden Witch. I wonder what was inside. I don't know. But that envelope was for Grandfather's personal use, and it had the Ushirmia family crest on it. Whatever was inside, it must have had some connection to the family conference. Yeah, you bet. She hadn't let anyone touch it, but yesterday Maria had shown that envelope off to Battler and the rest a whole lot. So they remembered it well. Mama, give it back! Mama, give it back! Well, if you're right, it'd have to be pretty important. Why would this mighty witch give something that important to Maria? I don't get it. Every once in a while, the refreshing morning atmosphere was completely wiped out by the sound of thunder. It was only natural. Since the moment they'd woken up, they hadn't met anyone else. It felt like only they were left, as if the mansion had become an empty husk. Hey, Anyone there? Answer me! Jessica called out into the hallway, and eventually an answer came back. It came from the entrance hall. I can hear you. Has something happened? It's Dr. Nanjo. Thank goodness. It looks like everyone but us hasn't disappeared from this island after all. Dr. Nanjo, good morning. Sorry, but do you know where our parents went? Dear me, I only just woke up and came here, you see. I have no way of knowing for sure, but let's see. It's only natural. Nanjo was a guest, just like the rest of them. He'd come just now to pass the time in the parlor until breakfast. Dr. Nanjo, Mama took it. Mama took my letter. Give it back, give it back. Maria buried her face in Nanjo's plump stomach, sobbing and crying. Nanjo could do nothing but be bewildered by this ruckus so early in the morning. Ah, someone's running this way. Jessica, someone's coming. And from down the hall, they could sense people running hurriedly. Oh, they weren't dashing this time. They saw Goda and Cannon coming towards them. Normally, it would be disgraceful for a servant to run inside the mansion. And yet Balor and the rest didn't even think to question that now. Maria's sobbing had become so unmanageable, they wanted to ask someone, anyone, where Rosa was. But the two servants seemed to have bigger things on their minds than Jessica, who was waving at them. Goda flew into the servant room, and when Cannon noticed that Nanjo was there, he bowed and approached the doctor at a quick pace before whispering something into his ear. What did you say? Rosa-san did? Yes. I will guide you, so please accompany me. Understood. This way. Without saying anything more than that, Cannon finally noticed Jessica and bowed to her. But he wasn't calm. He dashed back down the corridor by which he had come, followed by Nanjo. By looking at how hurried they were, Battler and the rest realized that yes, something bad really had happened. They saw Goda through the door to the servant room, which had been flung open. He was holding the receiver and violently pressing the hook. From that, they realized that he was trying to call a hospital, or the police. In any event, he was trying to call someone because a serious emergency had occurred. Let's have a look. Yeah. Mama, give it back! Give back my letter! It's an invitation to the Golden Land! No, baby. No, it wasn't. They didn't know what, but something was happening. Battler and the rest chased after Cannon and Nanjo. And then we realized Cannon-kun had called Dr. Nanjo, but he hadn't called us. So we shouldn't have gone with them. I wonder if Alice regretted her excess curiosity when she chased after that rabbit holding a clock. No, you mustn't go in. You mustn't look. Jessica-chan, no! No! Mother! Father! What happened? What the hell is this? This goes way beyond bad taste. Isn't taking someone's life bad enough? What the hell is this? Going to all the trouble after they died of sitting them on chairs, slicing their stomachs and pulling their entrails out? You went to all the trouble of stuffing your stomachs full of sweets? What the hell would you do something so fucked up? Damn it! Damn it! Nice job, you bastard! Just great! Yeah! It would be best if everyone went outside. God, I wasn't expecting to hear this song again. I kind of missed it. I really do like how daunting it is, how ominous it feels. They certainly wouldn't want you all to see them like this. Nanjo told the children to go outside, but no one listened. Rosa-san, please tell them. If they keep looking at something like this, we'll do nothing but harm. Rosa. Rosa regretted her own carelessness. She should have realized that the children would eventually come here. She should have quickly locked up instead of standing around stunned. So the children had come here. They had seen it. Surely at this very moment they were having a sight burned into their eyes. It was far more grotesque than the shocking meal Rosa had witnessed in her youth. While she hugged Maria, who seemed to be too shocked to show any emotion at this gruesome scene. God, she's gonna start laughing. Halloween! Halloween! Rosa cried for them and their parents. God. Maria's the only one who hasn't lost someone now. The four groaning and crying voices, their sadness continued to echo in a palace that should have known God's love. Oh. You piece of crap! Again? Another one of these murders? And this time you made it all elaborate, killing them like it's a total joke. I was rather hoping you'd thank me, not cry out in grief. Thank you? Did you say I should thank you, you old bitch? Damn it! There's something wrong with your ears. I'll cut them both off so you can hear better. What should I have to see? Why should I have to see that insane way of killing and say, oh, thank you very much, Beatrice-sama. I'll beat your brains out. And the last game, you lamented the fact that you couldn't see your parents' faces after they died, yes? So this time, I left them. Didn't touch them. Take a good look, for without a doubt, your father and the rest have been killed. Really, what a nice treat. I'm so fucking happy. I swore I'd plow your face after I choked the life out of you, but I'll take that back now. I'll rip out your guts instead. Don't give in to emotion. Don't stop thinking. My game has already begun, right? I decided to leave you neat and tidy corpses this time. Do you know why? When you denied my existence in the last game, you used this line of thinking. Their faces were crushed, so the identity of the corpses can't be confirmed. Therefore, we can't eliminate the possibility that fake corpses were prepared to create an alibi. Unless that possibility is denied, a human culprit theory can still be built. What'd you say? So, Bella, is it okay to leave the examination of the corpses to Nanjo? Isn't it traditional in mystery novels for the doctor who performs such examinations to be an accomplice? Then don't leave the examination to him. Do it yourself. Make completely sure that without a doubt, the 6 corpses are the 6 people they're supposed to be. That they really, really are dead, not just pretending. If you wish to confirm that your father and mother have been killed by having their stomach cut open and their entrails pulled out, you'd better stick your hand inside their stomachs and feel around. I won't cry. Damn it, I won't cry. Battler suddenly yelled. His tears were still dripping down, but as though scolding himself for being a sissy, he slapped his face hard several times with both hands. Even so, the tears still wouldn't stop. However, he felt a hot blaze in both his eyes. Whoever's responsible for this piece of work, I'll make them pay back their debt completely. So this isn't the time to cry. Gotta think about what to do. It's useless. It's all useless. If you've got enough time to cry, then think. This is no time to let yourself cry. Yeah, better leave that one to the seagulls. Rather than genuine anger, maybe it was more of an evasive anger to blot out his sadness. However, it gave a little courage to George and Jessica, who'd been crushed by the sadness. That's right. Even if we cry, it won't change the reality of what has happened. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! Now what should we do? What should I do? For Mom and Dad's sakes. Rosa-sama, I have returned. Koda-san, what happened with the police? What did they say to do? Did they say when they think they'll be able to get here? As to that, seems the phones have broken down. I also tried the emergency wireless, but, maybe it's the weather. But that isn't working either. What did you say? So we can't contact the police? It's that person. They did something to the phone line, made it so we can't reach the cops. When she heard that the phones had broken down, Jessica immediately decided that it was the work of that mysterious guest. Her eyes were bright red after so much crying, and they began to grow even redder with rage. Gah, there's no need to talk about it, right? I understand everything, that's right, I get it. Who killed Dad and Mom? It's obviously her. It's gotta be that witch, or whoever came yesterday. I'll grab her by the collar. Damn it, damn it, damn it! And that, my friends, is where we're gonna leave off. Oh my god. Well, our second Twilight certainly first Twilight certainly didn't disappoint. It's even more brutal this time around, which is the frightening part, I say. Either way, I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed this episode. And I hope to see you again next Sunday. Thank you all for watching. Bye.